here's my take on this amazing figure from Dasin. So we do have here a figure, a Kenshin Himura action figure from Dasin, or Dasin, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. As you can see, this figure was released this year, probably sometime around September or October 2019. But I just got it last week. And here's the packaging. As you can see, there's not much of any previews or any art packaging that we usually see in some action figures. But yeah, here it is, very plain, very simple. And then here you are. It's Kenshin Himura. So let's go ahead and open the packaging. So the figure comes with a lot of alternate hands. So let's start off with this dynamic post hands. Okay, so if you have a bodycon from SH Figure Arts line, you would find this particular hand, as far as I know. Then we have this one. A weapon wielding hand with his thumbs up. So it goes for his left and right hand. And we have this calm split hands. Alright. And we have this one. I think this one is made to hold the sheet of the figure. Something like that. Yeah. So it doesn't have a strong grip to it, but you know, it can manage. And then we have this one, closed fist weapon wielding hand. There you go. So these hands can be bent easily, but be careful that you might break this one. So you open it gently, not all the way, when placing the weapon of the figure. But I think it's really easy. It's soft rubbery material being used here. So as you can see here, it's so easy to place in the weapon of the figure. There you have it for the alternate hands. Yeah, so here's the alternate faces. As you can see, he has this serious version of him. Seems my camera is having a hard time focusing. Come on. There you go. So he has his eyes looking at the right side, and he has this calm looking, or his eyes here is a little bit wider, and looking to the left side. And then we have here a derpy looking, wacky looking expression, and another derpy, wacky looking expression of him, being dizzy and all that. And then we have this calm face one, and of course this alternate hair sculpt. We can check out the difference later on. So the bangs is a little bit more the design is different from the one attached to the figure. So let's go ahead and check it out. So here's the actual action figure, Kenshin Himura. As you can see, the face paint and how it's made, it's very accurate from the TV show that we've seen, or the anime. So he has this very patiently looking expression. And the difference between the two head sculpt or hair sculpt is that this one on the default it's a little bit more thicker, the bangs, as you can see. Maybe this one is like the OVA version of it. And the body shares pretty much the same feel as like if you own an SH Figure Arts Bodycoon, so it feels exactly the same. I believe they used the same body frame. It doesn't feel cheap, and amazingly they were able to sculpt this part here accurately. It moves independently. It's very nice. So even the joint there, they painted it on to copy the paint application for the socks of the figure. See here, so it's wearing a sandal. Whoever made this line, good job, because they really somehow capture the characters. I've even seen some figures from the Slam Dunk, and it's really great that someone is working on this one, and hopefully they released the rest of the characters from the Rurouni Kenshin, not just Rurouni Kenshin, maybe Flame of Recca or Yu Yu Hakusho, and the anime that we used to love watching way back in early or late 1990s to mid 2000. And the clothing that they use here, it's really great. It's very well done, as you can see here. It's very well done. Yeah, so let's go ahead and check out the articulation of the figure. So for the articulation of the action figure, this figure comes with a good range of motion. From the head, it goes like that. Doesn't have like a joint there, so it won't swivel. It's fixed. Somehow it would hinder the figure from looking upward. It has a butterfly joint right there, right on the shoulders, so it can move like that. I'm not sure if you can technically see it, but it's there. The body frame doesn't feel cheap at all. It has a bicep swivel. It has a double hinge elbow. Move the arm upward or downward. Then it's connected through a ball joint right there through the wrist of the hand, so it can swivel as well. The upper body here, as you can see, doesn't, for my figure, it doesn't somehow move way backward, but this is how far it goes. But it cannot do much of a ab crunch, but this is how far it can go. Okay, it doesn't really go down at all. Not a huge deal, but probably some maybe. It tilts a little, or waist swivel. It moves. Though I don't want to force it, I might break it. I think there's a garter right there. It can do split. You can see. Entire leg here doesn't move backward, but it can move upward like that. Okay. It has a double hinge knee, so this moves independently, so it can move up awkwardly up and downwards. It's just a little bit off when you see this ball joint popping out of the If you want to tilt the ankles, the ankle pivot, then you have to do this. You have to swivel the joint, and there you go, and the fit. So it's doable still, but yeah, it looks awkward. It looks off when you see it like that. Maybe not quite, you know, you can pull it off. Now let's talk about the weapon of the figure. So here you go. So it's really shiny, but it's not made out of die cast. It just looks like one, but you know, it has a fragile feel to it, so be careful, guys. You can see the reverse edge sword. Okay, and what I kinda have a gripe here, because this part here, I'm not sure why they have to do this, like, you know, like this one. So they have to cut the other sword like that. So well, but you know, it kind of reminds me of during an episode where, you know, his sword broke, so he had to go to Edo and have to remake the sword that he's using, or the samurai that he's using. Maybe that's what the purpose of this part here. Though I still hope that, you know, this sword right here can fit in the sheet, because it doesn't. As you can see here, it won't fit in for some reason. It's a minor gripe for me. Maybe they could have, you know, thought of some way where they can fit this part here. But anyway, I'm glad that, you know, I have these two. This is a very well made figure, guys. So if you have the cash, if you have the dough, you know, get it. It's very worth it. So trying to place in the weapon from the figure, it's really easy. But what you need to take note of sometimes when you try to pull off the hand right here, sometimes the entire wrist joint would come off or would pop off. So what I usually do is I just hold the wrist joint right there, you know, and I will try to pull the hand to avoid that from happening. And also be careful, but because you might break the joints. It's not, it doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, it has a weak joint or something like that, but you know, you have to be careful when doing so. Anyway, the hand right here is very soft, so it's inserting the figure or the weapon from the figure is really easy as pie. So you can see here, right? And then I already placing this hand right here, the calmly semi weapon wielding hand. So it somehow it has a good grip on it, but doesn't really kind of have a solid hold to it, like that. Come on, focus. There you go. So the posing is a little bit off, but I hope you get my point here. And trying to replace the hair. Oops. So sorry for that. So yeah, it has it has a slot right there, so you can see here at the back of the head right there, so you can have it remove. So it's on a ball joint, and place this in and put it back here. So you don't really need a manual for this part here. You don't need to know, you know, it's easy to know which part goes to where. So yeah. There you go. Yeah, so at least you get the idea of it. Again, this is a very amazing figure. For the stand and base here, as you can see, I'm not sure if I'm gonna use this one, because sometimes when you put this on display for so long, you know, the shininess of the base tends to disappear. It's very reflective, guys, as you can see. I'm just not sure why my camera is not trying to focus on that. There you go. Well, at least you have an idea. It's color brown, so this part here, you can remove that part. There you go. And it comes with two clear stands. It's just so hard to remove, but let me just show you guys. So this is the clamp right here, and there's another clamp right there. But I'm not gonna use this one on my display. Actually, I'm not gonna display this figure because I don't want to have any issues on the cloth material. But yeah, at least you have an idea. We have the short version of the stand right here. We have the longer version of it for, you know, aerial posing maybe, and maybe this one is for, you know, any stand-in posing that you can use. At least you have an idea. But like I mentioned, but I also think that maybe they could add some more details here, you know. But maybe someday. For size comparison, we do have here a vintage collection Stormtrooper 3.75-inch figure and a 6-inch Black Series Star Wars Stormtrooper figure. We also have here a 7-inch SIC Ninja Arashi figure and a 7-inch DC collectible Batman figure. Overall, this is a sure get figure. I have some minor gripe, but with the articulation, the amount of alternate hands and face, the accuracy of this figure makes me want to look forward to other characters this toy line has to offer. If you're a fan of 6-inch figures, this character from anime and manga, go ahead and get one. It's worth it. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, check me out on Instagram and Facebook, and lastly, thank you for checking out my review. Talk to you guys soon.